The helmet in the wreckage, the sky was quiet. Too quiet. Gray clouds hovered over the broken land and not a single bird flew. No wind, no sound. Just silence. 100 years ago, this place had been full of fire, screams, and explosions. Now, it was just dust and ash. Liam, a young human explorer, stood still on the edge of the crater. His boots sank slightly into the soft black soil as he looked around. Behind him, his team scanned the area with old military scanners. They were part of a recovery crew sent to find lost technology from the last human-alien war. But Liam had found something different. Buried under a pile of rocks and broken steel, he had seen a flash of metal. He bent down and pushed the debris aside with his gloved hands. And there it was, a soldier's helmet. Scratched, dented, and dusty, but still strong. As he turned it over in his hands, he noticed something carved inside, barely visible under the dust. He cleaned it slowly with his sleeve. Then he read the message aloud. "I'm still alive." His voice trembled. His team stopped what they were doing and turned toward him. "What did you say?" Maya, the team's lead engineer, asked as she walked over. Liam held the helmet out. "Look." Maya leaned closer, read the words, and then looked at Liam, her eyes wide. "This can't be real," she whispered. "This battlefield is over 100 years old. There were no survivors." Liam shook his head. "Someone wrote that. Someone who didn't die here. Or someone who wanted to be found," Maya said, her voice low. They both looked at the helmet again. It had an old design, one used only during the final battles of the war, the type that hadn't been manufactured in a century. Inside, the name was barely visible. Orion Vex. "Wait," Liam said. "I've read about him. Captain Orion Vex, he was a war hero. They said he died during the last alien assault. He disappeared. No body was ever found." Maya frowned. "But if this is his helmet, and he left that message, he might have survived." They both stood in silence for a moment. Then the ground scanner beeped. "We have movement," Jake, the tech officer, called from behind. "Underground echo. Could be a structure." Maya's eyes lit up. "Maybe a bunker." Liam's heart started beating faster. A lost soldier. A message after 100 years. And now, underground movement? "We're not alone," he said softly. Maya nodded. "We need to go down there." They set up a small drilling machine and began clearing the rocks. The scanner showed a large metallic door hidden below. It was strong, built to last through a war, the kind only top military officers had access to. Liam kept staring at the helmet in his hands. The more he looked at it, the more questions he had. Why did Captain Vex write the message? How did he survive? And if he's still alive? Where is he now? The team worked fast. Dust flew into the air, and the sun began to set behind the hills. Finally, the door was clear. It had a digital lock, long dead from time. But Maya connected a power pack to it and tapped her tablet. The door made a low grinding noise. It didn't open fully, just a few inches. Enough for a person to slip through. Liam stepped forward. "Wait," Maya said. "We don't know what's down there." Liam nodded. "But someone left a message asking to be found. I think we have to go." He took a light, attached it to his shoulder, and carefully squeezed through the opening. The air inside was cold and stale. It smelled like dust, oil, and something older, like time itself. His light moved across the walls, faded posters, broken chairs, shattered glass, but everything was still in place, untouched. Then he saw something on the floor. A boot print. Fresh. His breath caught in his throat. He bent down and looked closer. The print was real. Not from 100 years ago. It was recent. He reached for his radio. "Maya, someone's been here not long ago." Static. Then Maya's voice came through. "Liam, we're picking up a signal. An old distress call." "From where?" "Inside. Near you." Liam turned slowly. At the end of the hallway, an old speaker sparked to life. A voice crackled through. "Please, Help. I'm still here. It was weak, broken, but human. Liam stood frozen, a soldier, a message in a helmet, and now the voice from the past, he whispered, Captain Vex? The hallway stayed silent, but he knew. The message was true. He was still alive. Whispers from the past. Liam stood in the darkness, frozen in place. The voice had come from an old speaker on the wall, crackling, full of static, but it was real. Please. Help. I'm still here. Liam's flashlight flickered slightly as his hand trembled. He took a slow breath and stepped forward, deeper into the underground bunker. His boots echoed against the metal floor. Dust floated through the cold air. Something in his chest tightened. This was no longer a search for technology. This had become something else, something personal. Behind him, Maya and the rest of the team forced the bunker door open wider and climbed inside. Liam, are you okay? Maya asked, walking up beside him. He nodded slowly. I heard him. You sure it wasn't just an echo from the helmet? Jake added, holding his scanner tightly. Liam looked at him. It wasn't the helmet, it came from that speaker. He pointed at the dusty speaker unit still glowing red. Maya took out her tablet and connected to the old comm system. The signal is on loop, she said. Someone programmed it to play the same distress message over and over, but what? Liam asked. The transmission changed 5 minutes ago. Just before you came in. That means someone's controlling it from inside the bunker. A long silence followed her words. Then the light above them flickered. They were not alone. Liam, Maya, and Jake moved slowly down the hallway. The air smelled of rust and age. Every few steps they passed old signs in faded paint. Medical wing, barracks, emergency shelter. Each door they tried was locked or frozen shut until they reached the command room. Inside, the air was warmer. Screens lined the walls, most of them cracked or dark. In the center of the room there was a large round table with a map projected. On it, somehow still working, red dots glowed softly. One of them blinked. Life sign, Maya said, her voice low. How can that be? Liam asked. Backup energy cells, she replied. Military bunkers like this one have power supplies that last centuries. If someone knew how to use them, they could survive a long time, maybe even 100 years. Jake walked over to a side console and tapped the controls. I found something, he said. Audio logs. They're encrypted, but I can open a few. The speakers hissed. Then a voice played. Deep, calm, and tired. Day 417. I remain hidden. Food is almost gone. But if I leave, they'll find me. They're still out there. I can feel them. Then the log ended. Maya looked at the others. That was him. That had to be Captain Orion Vex. He survived, Liam whispered. He's been living down here, hiding. Jake nodded. But from who? The answer came fast. The lights turned red. An alarm began to sound, low and broken like an old heartbeat. Motion sensors, Maya said. They're triggering now. They looked at the map on the table. 3 red dots had appeared, moving, fast. Coming closer. Liam pulled his rifle from his back and clicked the safety off. Who's down here with us? No one answered. They ran down the corridor, deeper into the bunker. The motion sensors beeped faster. At the end of the hallway, a steel door slammed shut by itself. Automatic lockdown. A warning appeared above the door. Containment breach. What did this place hold? Jake shouted. I don't know, Maya yelled. But someone didn't want anything getting out. They turned back, but a new sound stopped them. Footsteps, not human ones. Claws against steel. Scraping. Dragging. Liam raised his light. Down the hallway behind them, a tall figure stepped into view. It had the shape of a man but moved like something broken. Metal armor covered its chest and legs. Its helmet was large, cracked, with red glowing eyes. It didn't speak, just stood there. Then, it sprinted toward them. They ran. Back to the command room, Maya shouted. They locked the door and pressed against it, breathing hard. That's not Captain Vex, Jake said. What the hell is it? Maya checked the console. It's a hybrid combat unit, human and machine, but it's not supposed to be active. This project was shut down before the war ended. What project? Project Revenant, she said. A secret experiment to keep soldiers alive forever, even after death. They were supposed to be shut down. All of them. Liam stared at her. You're saying some of them are still down here? Maya nodded. And they're guarding something. They looked at the screen again. The red dot, the life sign, was still blinking. That's where we go, Liam said. What if more of those things are waiting? Jake asked. Liam raised the helmet of Captain Vex. He asked for help. We're going. They moved fast, using old maps to avoid the locked paths. The closer they got to the blinking red dot, the stranger things became. Walls covered in symbols, old bloodstains, and rooms sealed shut for decades. Finally, they reached it. A door, sealed with both digital and manual locks. Maya worked quickly. With a loud hiss, the door opened. Inside was a small chamber. One cryopod stood in the center, and inside, a man. His beard was long, his uniform was faded, wires were connected to his chest. The screen on the pod read, Status, Alive. Maya gasped. It's him. Liam stepped closer. Captain Orion Vex, he was still breathing, still alive, and now, the real story was about to begin. The bunker that time forgot the air inside the cryo chamber was still and cold. Captain Orion Vex lay inside the pod, breathing slowly. His eyes were closed, wires connected to his skin and veins. Frost clung to the edges of the glass. Liam stood, in front of him, unable to speak. They had found him. After 100 years, after the war, after all hope had vanished, they had found him. Maya wiped the glass and whispered, He's alive. Still alive. Can we wake him? Liam asked. We can try, she said, but it's risky. Cryo systems this old. If we make a mistake, it could kill him. Liam took a deep breath. Do it. We came all this way. He asked for help. We answer that call. Maya opened her toolkit and began carefully rewiring the control panel on the side of the pod. Sparks flew. The screen blinked. Status. Initializing. Revival sequence. A low hum filled the room as warm air flowed into the pod. The frost began to melt. Vex's fingers twitched. Jake held his scanner close. Heart rate increasing. Brain activity rising. He's waking up. Suddenly, the lights in the chamber flickered violently. The ground trembled. A loud mechanical growl echoed through the halls of the bunker. They know, Maya said. The Revenants know we're here. Liam looked at the door. We don't have much time. The pod hissed open. Captain Vex gasped. His eyes shot open, bright green, sharp with fear and memory. He sat up, coughing hard. His muscles trembled as he tried to move. Liam knelt beside him. Captain? Captain Orion Vex? Vex grabbed Liam's collar with surprising strength. Who are you? He rasped. My name is Liam. We found your helmet. The message, I'm still alive. We followed it. We're here to help. Vex's eyes darted around the room. How long has it been? Maya stepped forward. 100 years. Vex leaned back slowly. So, they really left me. Liam's voice was soft. Who left you, Captain? Vex stared at him. Earth Command. They betrayed me. They shut down the mission, said we lost. But I knew the truth. What truth? Jake asked. Vex's face was pale, haunted. The war never ended. The aliens were not the enemy. They were a warning. The real enemy was created in this very bunker. Maya exchanged a glance with Liam. The Revenants? Vex nodded. Project Revenant. We were supposed to become unkillable soldiers, but the experiments went too far. Some of them lost their minds, others lost their souls. They became machines in human skin. And when I tried to stop it, Command locked me down here. And the revenants? Liam asked. How many are left? Too many, Vex said. They don't sleep. They don't eat. They wait. For orders. Or pray. Jake looked at his scanner. Then we're already in danger. We saw one earlier, and more are moving now. Vex slowly stood with Liam's help. We have to destroy them, or they'll find a way out. If they reach the surface, it'll be the end of everything. Maya pointed to the map screen. There's a central core below us. It powers this entire bunker. Can we overload it? Vex nodded. Yes, but the path is guarded, and the revenants. A loud boom cut him off. Dust fell from the ceiling. They've breached the outer door, Jake said. They're coming. Vex grabbed an old rifle from the wall rack, one that had waited a century for him. Then we fight, he said. But we don't just survive, we finish what I started. They ran from the chamber with Vex leading the way through the winding corridors. The bunker was like a maze, full of broken memories and silent traps. Every turn held a risk. Every hallway echoed with distant metallic footsteps. Suddenly, they reached the old control center, a circular room with giant screens and cables hanging like vines. The core was just beneath it, accessible through a narrow elevator shaft. Maya pulled up the access panel. We need to activate the release switch manually. Vex handed his rifle to Liam. Cover her. I'll do it. No, Liam said. You've done enough. We'll do it together. Vex smiled, tired but proud. They opened the hatch and began lowering themselves into the shaft. The walls were tight, the air thick with heat. At the bottom, the reactor glowed blue, pulsing like a heart, but they were not alone. A revenant dropped from above, silent, armored, glowing red. It swung its blade arm at Maya. Liam tackled it mid-air, both of them crashing against the wall. Vex raised his sidearm and fired. Sparks flew as the bullet pierced the revenant's chest. It didn't die. Instead, it screamed, an awful machine hollow sound, and charged again. Jake arrived just in time, blasting the creature with an electric pulse weapon. The revenant, finally, fell, its red eyes dimming to black. Vex pulled himself to the switch and flipped it. The core began to rumble. Overload started, Maya said. We've got 10 minutes. Then we run, Vex ordered. They raced back up the shaft and through the corridors, alarms blaring. The bunker was collapsing around them. Walls cracked, ceilings fell, fire erupted behind them. As they neared the exit, 2 more revenants dropped from above. Vex stopped, turned, and stood his ground. Go, he told Liam. I'll hold them. No, Liam shouted. We do this together. Vex smiled. Then let's finish it. Together they fought their way to the door. Outside, the night sky greeted them with cool wind and stars. The bunker behind them exploded in a tower of fire and light. The ground shook. Then silence. Liam helped Vex to his feet. It's over, Liam said. Vex looked at the stars. Not yet. This was only the beginning. The truth still waits. And so do the others. Liam nodded. They had found a soldier from the past, but now a new war was coming. The betrayal files, the fire from the explosion still glowed behind them. Captain Vex leaned against a rock, breathing heavily. His body ached, his muscles were weak, and his memories were tangled between the past and present. Liam, Maya, and Jake sat nearby, silent, their faces lit by the soft light of the stars. None of them spoke for a long time. Then Liam broke the silence. You knew they abandoned you, didn't you? Vex didn't look up. I didn't want to believe it. Not at first. But the deeper I went, the more I saw. What did they do? Maya asked gently. Vex finally raised his eyes. They erased us. He pulled a small data chip from the pouch on his belt. It was old, cracked, but intact. What is that? Jake asked. This, Vex said, is the last truth left in this galaxy. It contains files from the Project Revenant vault, names, orders, lies. It proves who was behind everything. He handed the chip to Maya. I stole this before they locked me inside the bunker, he continued. They said it was a quarantine zone, that I was exposed to alien tech and needed isolation. But that was a lie. They needed to hide the truth and bury me with it. Maya connected the chip to her tablet and the screen lit up. Encrypted folders appeared labeled in red. Black Sector, Subject X3, Override Code Alpha, Termination Orders. She opened the first file. Video footage played. Dark, shaky, but clear enough. A lab filled with scientists. Metal pods, bodies floating, in liquid. One of them was still alive, half human, half machine, screaming silently through the glass. Liam's stomach twisted. They experimented on soldiers? He asked. Vex nodded. We volunteered to be enhanced. We wanted to be stronger, faster, able to save more lives. But then they started pushing beyond limits. The goal changed. It wasn't about saving lives anymore. It was about creating control. Maya played the next file. A message from a high-ranking official. Revenant project has exceeded expectations. Subject X3 shows signs of independent thought and loyalty override. Termination of whistleblower Captain Orion Vex recommended. Bunker lockdown scheduled. Proceed without public report. Maya gasped. Jake's eyes widened. They tried to kill you because you knew too much. Vex looked down. I wasn't the only one. 2 of my team members vanished before me. 1 died in an accident. The other, I never saw again. Liam clenched his fists. We need to tell the world. No, Vex said firmly. We need to show them. Maya nodded. This chip is enough proof to open every investigation. But the question is, will they let us live long enough to deliver it? As if on cue, a distant sound echoed through the night sky, a low humming, growing louder. They looked up. A black ship hovered just above the mountain ridge, sleek, quiet, and completely unmarked. That's not one of ours, Jake said. Vex stood, slowly. They found us, it's too soon. Who? Liam asked. The ones who run Black Sector now, the old command. They never stopped. They're watching everything. And they will silence anyone who gets close to the truth. The ship landed nearby. The grass burned under its engines. A door opened, and 5 figures stepped out. Dressed in clean black armor, faces covered, weapons drawn. Vex raised his hands. Don't shoot. I know what you want, but the files are already backed up. You're lying, the lead soldier said through a helmet speaker. We have orders to retrieve the chip and eliminate witnesses. Liam stepped in front of Vex. You'll have to go through us. The soldier aimed his weapon. Maya clicked a hidden switch on her tablet. Too late. The files are now live, streaming to open networks. Across 5 planets. The soldier paused. Vex smiled. You can kill us, but the truth is out now. For a long moment, no one moved. Then, to everyone's surprise, the soldier lowered his weapon. Stand down, he ordered his team. Orders have changed. The others hesitated, then obeyed. Why? Jake asked. The lead soldier removed his helmet. His face was tired, lined with guilt. Because my brother died in Project Revenant. He trusted the system. It turned him into a monster. I've waited years for someone to bring this to light. He turned to Vex. You just did. Vex nodded slowly. The soldier handed Maya a data card. Coordinates. There's an old facility. Hidden, locked, and abandoned. It's where the real files are kept. Everything you saw here is just the surface. Liam took the card. What's inside? The blueprint of Project Revenant and its next phase. Vex's voice hardened. They're still working on it. The soldier nodded. And if they succeed, what you saw in that bunker will be nothing compared to what's coming. Liam looked at the others. Then we go there, we end this. The soldier turned away. You won't see me again, but you have my respect. The black ship rose into the sky and vanished without a trace. Vex looked at the mountains in the distance. The real war begins now. Maya closed her tablet. Then let's get ready. They walked into the darkness together. 1 soldier from the past, 3 explorers from the present. and a secret that could change the future. Alive in the shadows, the night was cold and silent as the team moved toward the old coordinates. The soldiers. Chip had pointed them to a mountain range, one hidden in every official satellite map. It didn't exist on paper, but it was real. Maya's drone hovered ahead, scanning for entry points. "This place is buried under stone," she said. "Looks like a landslide sealed the whole front." Vex stared up at the rocks. That wasn't nature. That was a cover-up. They didn't want anyone finding this place. Liam brushed his hand along a stone wall. A strange chill passed through his fingertips. "Feels like the mountain's watching us." "Maybe it is," Vex replied. After hours of searching, the drone beeped. A small cave entrance hidden by vines and thick roots lit up on the scanner. Behind it, metal, reinforced doors, forgotten tech. "We found it," Jake said. The cave led them into total darkness. As they reached the steel door, Maya connected her tablet to the ancient panel. Power still hummed within the walls. "This facility is still alive," she whispered. "That means someone, or something, has been keeping it running." The door hissed and opened slowly. What they found inside was not just a bunker. It was a tomb. The hallway stretched forward, lit by old blue emergency lights. Frost covered the walls. Broken glass crunched under their boots. Symbols from the Revenant program lined the corridor. Unit codes, DNA strands, death counts. Liam looked at one wall. There were hundreds of subjects here. "No," Vex said, staring at the next symbol. "Thousands." They entered a large control center. Most of the monitors were shattered, but one screen still glowed. A voice recording began to play, automatically. "Testing complete. Phase 4 subjects show no remaining emotion. Full control achieved. Humanity is the cost. Victory is the reward." Then silence. Maya pulled up the system logs. The last entry was 78 years ago. Someone shut it all down, but didn't destroy it. That means someone planned to return, Vex said. Suddenly the lights flickered. A deep metallic groan echoed through the walls. "Something's moving," Liam said. They turned toward the hallway. In the shadows, red eyes blinked. Not one pair. Dozens. "Revenants," Vex whispered. "Older ones, unfinished, unstable." The creatures stepped into the light. Their faces were warped, twisted between man and machine. Some dragged broken limbs behind them. Others had metal claws where hands should be. Their eyes glowed with blind rage. They didn't speak. They only growled. "They've been waiting," Maya said. Jake pulled his weapon. "What do we do?" Vex didn't move. "We give them peace," the Revenants charged. The hallway exploded into chaos. Liam fired at the lead creature, its head snapping back, sparks flying. But it kept moving. Jake unleashed a pulse grenade, slowing the ones behind. Maya used her drone to blind them with flashes. Vex stepped into the middle of the hallway and dropped a small device to the ground. "What's that?" Liam shouted. "A gift from the past," Vex said. "Get back." They ran. The device pulsed once, then again. Then the explosion came. Walls cracked. Metal screamed. Half the hallway collapsed behind them, burying the Revenants under tons of stone and steel. The team stopped to catch their breath. "That won't stop all of them," Jake said, "but it'll buy us time." They moved deeper, passing old labs and cryo chambers. Inside, many of them were bodies, some human, some not, some still alive, eyes open, breathing, but never blinking. "They're stuck," Maya whispered. "Conscious but frozen." "Test subjects," Vex said. "They were failures, but they were never released." Liam felt sick. This place isn't just a lab, it's a graveyard. In the final chamber they found a large door marked Alpha Vault. Maya cracked the seal. Inside, the core of the project waited. Giant glass. Tubes lined the walls. Each tube held something different. Some had bodies, others held weapons, and one had a child, a girl, floating in liquid, connected by cables. Human eyes. Alien skin. What is this? Liam asked. Maya checked the log. Project Genesis. A hybrid. Part revenant. Part alien. Born in a lab. Grown in silence. A weapon, Jake said. Or something worse. Vex stared at her. She's still alive. As they watched, her eyes opened, not glowing red. Just human. Full of fear. She tapped the glass with her tiny hand. Liam stepped forward. She's not like the others. She's not finished, Maya said. She hasn't been programmed. Then we save her, Vex said. Maya worked fast to disable the pod. The girl collapsed into Liam's arms, coughing and shaking. Then, alarms rang out, a voice echoed from the walls. Deep, cold, and not human. Unauthorized access detected. Protocol Omega activated. Awakening full guardians. Liam's heart dropped. What does that mean? The walls shook. Metal doors opened all around them. 10 massive creatures stepped out, twice as large as any revenant they had seen. Their eyes were blue instead of red. Smarter. Faster. Programmed to kill. Those are the Guardians, Vex said. Final line of defense. Can we fight them? Jake asked. No, Maya said. We run. Liam carried the girl as they escaped. The vault. The Guardians followed, smashing walls to reach them. The team reached the exit shaft, the only path up. Liam turned to Vex. There's no time to climb. Vex nodded. Then someone stays behind. No, Liam said. We leave together. Vex smiled. I already stayed behind once, now I finish what I started. He pulled a detonator from his belt. Maya and Jake helped Liam climb. They reached the top just as the Guardians entered the vault chamber. Vex stood in front of them. He looked up. At the light. Thank you for finding me, he said. Then he pressed the button. The mountain exploded. The forgotten enemy returns. The mountain burned behind them. A black column of smoke rose into the night sky as Liam, Maya, Jake, and the hybrid girl stood at the ridge. The ground still trembled beneath their feet from the explosion. Captain Orion Vex was gone. Again. But this time, by choice. Liam held the girl close. Her skin was cold, and her small body shook with fear, but her eyes stayed open, silent, watching everything. We need shelter, Maya said, checking her scanner. Her vitals are dropping, and so are yours. Liam nodded. We'll find somewhere fast. They made camp in the ruins of an old outpost, one likely abandoned during the war 100 years ago. The solar panels still worked, barely. Jake set up a med pod and placed the girl inside. Warm gel flowed around her. Her breathing steadied. Liam sat beside the pod. He stared at the sky, haunted. He saved us, he said softly. Maya nodded. And now it's our turn to finish what he started. But then, something unexpected happened. The girl opened her eyes again and spoke. They're coming. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper, but it chilled Liam to the bone. Who? Jake asked. Who's coming? The girl sat up slowly. Her body was weak, but her eyes glowed faintly blue. The ones that made me, she said. The architects. Maya leaned in. I thought the revenants were the only threat. The girl shook her head. They were just the tools. The real enemy. Never left. Before anyone could speak again, a pulse hit the camp. Lights exploded. Air. Pressure dropped. A sound rang out across the valley. Low, deep, and full of something. Ancient. What was that? Jake said, grabbing his weapon. The girl looked up. They found us. Within seconds, ships appeared in the sky. Not human, not revenant. Black as obsidian, shaped like knives. They made no sound. They simply hovered and, then, descended. The team stood ready. Liam aimed his rifle. Maya powered up the drones. Jake triggered the EMP net. But the girl stepped forward. Don't. Why not? Liam asked. They won't kill me, she said. I'm their key. The ships landed. From each one, tall beings stepped out, cloaked in silver armor, faces hidden behind masks of glass and light. They walked like kings. No fear, no rush. One of them spoke, its voice echoing in their minds instead of their ears. Return her to us. She belongs to the architects. Liam raised his weapon. She belongs to no one. The figure tilted its head. You misunderstand. She is not your future, she is your replacement. Maya frowned. What does that mean? The girl stepped back, frightened. They wanted to end your kind, not through war, but through replacement. I was born to be a new version of humanity, smarter, stronger, controlled. Liam's jaw tightened. You don't have to be what they made you. They won't stop, she whispered. Suddenly, the sky cracked open. A massive ship appeared, larger than anything they had ever seen. It didn't fly, it floated, as if the stars bent around it. The mothership, Maya said. They're ready to finish it. The ground shook. From the ship, dozens of pods dropped, each one releasing more hybrids, more weapons, more horrors created in secret. We're not ready to fight this, Jake said. Then we don't fight. Alone, Liam replied. He looked at the girl. You said you were made to replace us, but you're not like them. You can choose. Help us stop them. The girl looked up at him, then nodded. Yes, she said, but we'll need more than weapons. We'll need the truth. Maya connected her tablet to the hybrid's pod. Inside the girl's bloodstream, codes, memories, hidden files, left by the architects, proof of everything. These files, Maya said, they're maps to every secret lab, every hidden ship, and every base the architects built during the war. Liam looked at the sky. Then it's time to show the galaxy what we're really fighting. He pressed his comm device. This is Liam Hale. To any listening outposts, any free worlds, any rebels still standing, this isn't just about Earth anymore. The war didn't end. It hid. And now the real enemy has returned. A pause, then static, then a voice. We hear you. And we're coming. One by one, signals lit up on Maya's screen. Ships, fleets, old allies, new strangers, all answering the call. Liam looked at the hybrid girl. What's your name? He asked. She thought for a second. Hope, she whispered. Liam smiled. Then let's give them hope. In the distance, the sky filled with fire. The final battle hadn't started yet. But the world now knew the truth. And humanity was no longer alone. The message that saved the future, the sky was no longer quiet. It burned with fire and light. Ships from every corner of the galaxy flew above Earth, some fast and sharp, others wide and slow like floating cities. 1,000 different banners waved across their metal hulls. For the first time in history, alien and human stood side by side. They had all answered the call from a forgotten soldier. A message carved in a helmet. I'm still alive. Liam stood at the command bridge of the Allied fleet, his hands gripping the rail. The hybrid girl, Hope, stood next to him wearing a coat far too large for her, but her eyes held more courage than most warriors. Maya ran system checks at the console, while Jake loaded the last of the defense grid codes into the orbital cannons. Beneath them, Earth prepared for war. The architects had sent their armies. They had dropped pods into major cities, each one opening like a flower of death. From the centers came the upgraded revenants, taller, smarter, armored with alien tech. They walked without mercy, moving through streets, leaving nothing behind but silence. But this time, Earth wasn't unprepared. Resistance fighters rose from the shadows. Old soldiers returned to duty. Even civilians stood up, some armed with homemade weapons, others with nothing but courage and hope. And overhead, the United Fleet waited. Status report, Liam said. Our fighters are holding in orbit, Maya replied. But the mothership, it's building something inside, something massive. I think they're creating a world-ending weapon. Liam turned to Hope. Can you stop it? Hope nodded slowly. I can try. They gave me part of their mind, their knowledge. But if I go inside, they'll know. They'll try to take control of me again. Then you won't go alone, Liam said. We go together. The plan was risky. The Allied fleet would create a distraction. Meanwhile, Liam, Maya, Jake, and Hope would fly into the mothership's core using an old stealth pod, one of Vex's last designs, recovered from the destroyed mountain base. As the team boarded the pod, Liam placed Captain Vex's helmet beside the controls. This started with him, he said. He should be with us when it ends. The pod launched in silence. They flew past burning ships, shattered satellites, and dying stars. The mothership loomed like a god in the void. It had no windows, no seams. It felt alive, as if watching them with invisible eyes. Maya guided them to a small opening near the rear engines. This is it. If we go inside, we might not come back. Liam looked at her. Then we make it count. They entered. Inside, the mothership felt like a heart made of metal and nightmares. Its walls pulsed. Lights moved like blood through veins. Every step echoed with whispers, voices from the architects. You are nothing. Your time is over. We are the future. But Hope's voice cut through them. I am not yours. They reached the core, a giant orb floating in the center of the ship. It spun slowly, glowing blue and red. Inside it, the weapon charged, a wave of energy strong enough to erase planets. Hope stepped forward. I can shut it down. But I need time. Liam and Jake formed a wall between her and the Guardians rushing toward them. The battle began again. Liam fired shot after shot, never backing down. Jake fought beside him, his armor cracked but his spirit unbroken. Maya hacked the control panels, disabling every turret she could. And Hope placed her hand on the orb. Her eyes turned white. Her body shook. Inside her mind, the architects screamed. They tried to break her, overwrite her. But she held on. To Liam's voice. To Vex's story. To the world she had never seen but wanted to protect. Then the light inside the orb flickered, and Hope whispered the words that started it all. I'm still alive. The core collapsed in on itself. The weapon shut down. The mothership began to fall. Liam grabbed Hope and ran. The team escaped just as the explosion tore through the ship. Fire and light swallowed the sky. And then, silence. The Allied fleet cheered. Humans on Earth cried and hugged. The Revenants stopped moving. The war was over. Months later, a statue stood in the new global memorial garden, not of a general, not of a politician, but of a soldier, helmet in hand. Carved into the stone were the words, I'm still alive. Beside the statue, Hope held flowers in her hand. She stood with Liam, Maya, and Jake. She had grown stronger. She had friends now. A place to belong. Will people remember him? She asked. Liam nodded. They'll remember what he gave us. Not just victory, but truth. And the strength to fight for a future. Hope smiled. Then we won. The wind blew softly, and somewhere, among the stars, a voice seemed to echo. You found me. The end.